I'm Megan Thompson, and with this week's Nailers TV, we get to know assistant coach Dylan Clarke. First of all, Dylan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, right now you guys are on a little bit of a break. It's all-star break. How nice is it to have this bit of rest since the season's so long and grinding?
Well, it's really good for the players. I mean, other than being physically worn, it's been a long season, so they get to go home, rest up. Their bodies get to take a little bit of a breather and heal from some of their injuries. And right now we have quite a few injuries, and it also lets them recharge mentally and focus on what lies ahead.
Most of our fans know you from your playing days, but just give us a little bit of background and context. Where are you from, and how did you start playing hockey?
From a little town called Belleville, Ontario. I was born in Kingston, Ontario. Fun fact, used to be the capital of Canada. But growing up, my family was always involved in hockey. My three brothers all played. One of them played in the NHL, another one played a little bit in the CHL, which merged with the Coast later. But we have a pretty strong hockey background in our family, and it was just something that you do as a Canadian.
So your pond hockey games were probably pretty competitive, I would say.
We got pretty competitive on the ice. A lot of times it ended in a fight, and we'd have to go inside for dinner, and then there might be a black eye or two or a chipped tooth or something like that on the ice. But no, it was a good experience growing up like that, and my parents were really devoted to us, and they helped us a lot along the way.
That'll make you tough, right? And your brothers are giving you black eyes. You're not afraid to get them during a game.
It definitely helped later in my career.
You played 5 years in the ECHL. At what point in your life did you know that you wanted to play professional hockey?
It was my dream growing up. I always wanted to play in the NHL. Unfortunately, I didn't have the skill set to take me there, but it's something that you always dream of, and you always wanted an opportunity. And fortunately, I had the opportunity to play under some NHL teams, organizations, and stuff. So, it was very fortunate for myself and for my family, and it was quite an experience.
What was that experience like? Because I know on your second year, that was an interesting season for all of hockey because the NHL went through a lockout. So for you as a player, what was that like playing through that, and what was your whole career like?
That year was really interesting. We were playing against some NHL guys mixed in the league. I remember guys like Brian Giunta, Paul Mara, just to name a few, that were, you line up against them at the draw, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is I can't believe this is an East Coast level. But yeah, those NHL stars at the time, and then you're playing against them is pretty crazy. It was a tough year, but it was definitely an interesting year.
It's pretty cool to say. Maybe you didn't have the skill to play in the show, but at least you got to see what it was like to play against some of those guys.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Like I said, their skill sets were pretty advanced. That's probably why they did pretty well in this league. But no, it was definitely an interesting experience.
You've coached a little bit of junior hockey. Last season you were a player coach for the Evansville Thunderbolts. This season full-time assistant coach. What made you want to get into coaching?
That was a little bit of a mixture. Early on I knew I wanted to stay with hockey. But later, after playing college and getting to know my college coaches, they really kind of put a bug in my ear that it would be a good transition after the program's done, and then to their point, it has been a great experience, and it's pretty interesting, playing or transitioning from playing to coaching, and it's a good way to keep in the game.
So that it's interesting, the transition from playing into coaching. What's maybe the most interesting part about it, or things that you didn't realize happened as a player, but you're now seeing the flip side of that?
I think separating from the game itself, not being in the moment, and staying focused. There's times where you see something go on the ice and you're thinking, I'd like to get out there and handle this situation, but I think that was probably the biggest thing. But like I said, it's a great way to stay with the game and advance in my hockey career now and in a coaching career.
From a coaching aspect, being not so far removed from being a player, what's maybe some advice that you would give these players? Because as you know, playing hockey doesn't last forever. Your body can't do it forever. So what's your advice on transitioning into that and having an idea of what life is like after playing?
I think for anybody, even young kids, just to know that hockey is supposed to be enjoyed, and you have to enjoy every minute of it. When you take this game seriously, or too seriously for that matter, you lose sight of what it really means to play, and you have to really enjoy it. You know, take in all the experiences you can, enjoy the travel, enjoy your camaraderie with the guys, and really, you know, be a part of the sport itself. So that's pretty much the one experience that you got to take away from it, is that you really need to enjoy the opportunity to play.
You have the rest of your life to be serious, right? Hockey is fun. That's a good message for sure. This is your first season, full-time assistant coach, full-time being here in Wheeling. How has it been going for you so far? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend and I moved down here. We were welcomed with open arms, and Brian and Don have really made this organization help us along the way, and it's been quite an experience. We're enjoying every minute of it, and we really appreciate the opportunity.
And working with Mike Bavis, his first year as the head coach, your first year as an assistant coach, are you guys able to work well together and sort of grow and get this learning curve down as a team?
Yeah, both of us are kind of learning the different situations that come up in this league. He's been a mentor to me. He's really taught me a lot about the transition of hockey and the direction it's going, and how to recruit and all that stuff. And yeah, it's been a learning curve for both of us, but I think we're getting along after a little bit of a slow start. But since then, we've been playing really well, and I think both of us are kind of in a groove now.
That's a fun thing to be a part of. Winning is fun. You played here as a player. We talked about that. Now as a coach, maybe what's your favorite part about Wheeling now that you've been here for a few months?
I think it's the proximity to Pittsburgh, actually. We get to, take a jaunt to Pittsburgh here and there and explore the city, and it's been a long time since we've lived close to a city, so I think that's a big part of it. And then all the little restaurants around town, it's pretty crazy how there's a lot of hidden gems in this area, so I think that's part of it too.
How does this fan base, because we've got a lot of diehard fans, how does this fan base compare to others that you've seen?
It's great. This organization's been here for so long, and to have fans that have been here the whole time and been a part of the organization since the beginning is crazy. That's 20 plus years ago, where it's you have diehard fans, and it's great to see. And then we're getting new ones every day. We're making new hockey fans by the minute. So it's really good to see the support and get the fan base that we have.
Outside of hockey, I know during season, not a lot of free time, but in the summers, what are some of the things that you enjoy doing for fun?
It's a lot of golf. It's stressful, but it's fun, and I enjoy doing it, and it's competitive. So I do a lot of golf, and then I also do a little bit of carpentry. In my spare time, I'll take some pieces of wood and see what I can make out of them, and hopefully they look good.
All right, you sell any of it yet, or how's that going?
There's been a couple things sold. A lot of it's stored in my parents' basement, but there's some things that I like to keep when I get a house and settle down a little bit more. But yeah, most of it's just piled up in a corner of my parents' basement. So
fans, if you want some Dylan Clarke crafted furniture, you know who to get a hold of. What is maybe one interesting fact that you would want the fans in the city of Wheeling to know about you? Just something that's a little bit different, maybe outside of the hockey world.
That's a tough question. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a movie buff. That'd probably be the one interesting little fact about me, but I don't think there's anything in particular that would strike any conversation. So, yeah.
Just Talk to you about some movies. All right, there you go. All right, Dylan, thanks so much for joining us today. We are at home all weekend long and all next weekend for a 6-game homestand. For tickets, you can head on over to WheelingNailers.com. With Dylan Clarke, I'm Megan Thompson. We'll see you this weekend.